Man, you guys, this is going to be a fun time, but good evening. I'm looking at the chat already. I love seeing where everyone is from. Florida. I know it's not 5 o'clock anymore for you guys, but it's 5 o'clock here. We're going to have some fun. We're going to learn all about Travefy. We're kicking things off a little early when it comes to just jumping into the Travefy platform. Oh my gosh. Hey, Australia. I'm not gonna lie.
Ooh,
I was
Australia.
thinking of our friends in Australia when I was trying to think of what time this last session should be at. I know it's still pretty dang early. I want to say it's like 9
Yeah, it
a.m.
might be
maybe
9.
if you're in Sydney.
They're in the future. I always like to
They're
say
in the future.
that good old joke. I'm sure you've never heard that before, Australia. Like,
Never, never from the States, I bet. But no, this is awesome. A lot of folks on the East Coast joining us for dinner time. So let's go ahead. We're going to make things snappy. We're going to try and put a lot into this. But
yeah.
still, thank you for joining us. Keep using that chat. Keep using the Q&A throughout this session, just like the previous ones. But housekeeping things, as always, we're recording this. We will put this up on our YouTube channel in the next few days. Live Q&A. We do have only Stephanie back here right now, so take
That's
it easy on her.
yeah,
But
I'm a one woman band back here in the Q&A in the
yes,
chat.
one woman band. And then, join the Facebook group. That is Travefy official group on Facebook. We hit 18,000 members as of today. So it's awesome seeing you guys get in there. Absolutely introduce yourself. If you had any questions that came off from those sessions, it's a great place to put those in there and hearing from other advisors. So it's a really great community. You have found a really great spot to be at today. But I have a few housekeeping slides, like I mentioned, so we're going to roll through these quick. You've heard us talking about this about all day. New travel agent program. We'll bring it up at the end as well, but this is a program for our new friends to the industry. If you are under a year in this career, this is a great program for you. You're going to get all the tools I show you today, but there's also some added benefits like getting a custom domain, getting a custom branded email through Travefy, all for $25 a month. So it's a pretty good deal, if I say so myself. But absolutely check it out. It's a really great way to just get started. I know there's so many costs when you get started as a business. So hopefully this can help you out and really jumpstart your growth. But start your free trial no matter if you are an advisor who's been here for more than a year. It's always worth starting a free trial. We aren't going to tell you to put your credit card in to start your trial. You have access to all of the features. You can get, hit the ground running, but it's a really nice way to make sure that this platform will work for your workflow. But for the next session, this is the session that's starting tomorrow, right at 10 a.m. Central Time. And that is with Morgan. She is an account manager, but she's also a travel advisor as well. And she's going to walk you through her workflow and how that works with Travefy. And so I know if you joined us for the Teak session, we saw about what should you include in your workflow? And we'll show you, how Morgan actually applies it within the Travefy system from forms, invoices, commissions. If you charge a planning fee, if you want to set up a task list, it's going to be a good one to go to. There are about 1 million handouts that she's created. So absolutely try and join if you can. Otherwise, again, we are recording. We'll put all of the handout links in the description of the YouTube video. But all right, we have a few more slides. We are actually getting into the presentation now, if you will. But this session, I really wanted us to take a step back because I know there are so many of you who are new and also maybe just seeing Travefy for the first time. And so I thought we'd kick off the last session of the day really seeing what Travefy is as a platform, how it can work with you, and then also that can give you some good ideas on maybe what sessions you would want to join tomorrow. Because tomorrow's sessions are all about diving into specific areas of Travefy, whether it's your CRM walkthrough, which is with Morgan at 10 a.m. We also have a marketing one to end the day, and then there's an itineraries and proposals one. So think of this as kind of like that interest field, if you will. But if this is our first time seeing you, if this is the first session that you are joining today, we are so happy to have you here. My name is Bonnie. I'm an education coordinator over here at Travefy. And Stephanie, you've seen her throughout the day. She has been killing it. She is our senior education manager. She is the one who puts all of these great sessions together. And so round of applause for Stephanie and round of applause for you guys because you guys have been just sticking with us. I know it's a lot all day, every day, but we so appreciate it. And we hope you have walked away with some new tips and tricks so far. But all right, Let's talk about agenda. We're going to do a quick, brief meet Travefy. Think of it as a little meet and greet, if you will. And then we're walking through 5 ways Travefy can help you grow in your business. And so we'll talk about marketing. What does that look like in Travefy? What are some different tips that you can take away from this? Data intake when it comes to forms. We heard about intake forms from Teak today as well, how important that is. We'll talk a bit about client management, which I know there were a few of you from the last session who asked about what the term CRM meant. CRM is a customer relationship management tool. So that's where you're going to be able to manage all of your clients. And as you continue to get more clients under your belt, it helps grow with you. We'll talk about sales trip management. I'm going to tell you right now, it's a lot of information to really just try and soak in. But again, ask your questions in the Q&A. We'll always be happy to go back to anything that maybe caught your interest. I'm also talking about some recent releases. So if I have any friends that are in here that have been using Travefy, this is a good one for you. And then we'll do that Q&A at the end to wrap things up and we'll get you on your way. Get you on your way to happy hour, or maybe you're enjoying happy hour with us currently. That's always a really fun way to go through these webinars. But all right, let's take a step back and let's see what Travefy is all about. So I mentioned how we're going to go through 5 different ways Travefy can help you grow and scale, but Travefy really is the centerpiece of your work. This is where you can find every tool that you need to operate as a successful advisor. And that's always been our mission, is to create software tools that you need every day to be successful and to have them communicate with each other so you don't have to feel like you have to spend money in this software, money on this subscription, money on this subscription. We're really trying to be thoughtful about the tools that we create so it can help you grow faster. And so we always start off talking about marketing. Marketing is that one thing that you either love or you hate. Let me know in the chat. Do you love marketing or do you hate marketing? I usually find that people have strong feelings about the marketing aspect, and I get it. You guys want to spend time really focusing on what you love, which is typically selling travel, going and doing it. Hey, actually, we have some lovers of marketing. Alicia Dolores, I love it. Kelsey puts in a heart, so I'm thinking that she loves it too. I love this. And you know what? There are some people who say they hate it, scared of it. I think it is that really big thing about your business that can be a little bit daunting, especially if you aren't coming from a background of marketing. But marketing is how you get yourself out there. It's how you establish your brand, and it allows you to be as creative as you want. And so we have some great marketing tools to make this easy, not so scary. And hopefully at the end of this, you'll realize, you know what? Maybe I don't hate it. Maybe we aren't on good terms yet, but we'll get there. But without marketing, we also need to think about how are we getting information in the door about new clients. So we have our marketing engines, it's what's getting all of these leads funneling in, but how can we securely get client lead information like their names, their contact information, what are they interested in? That is where client or really the CRM comes into place with Travefy. And so we have a lot of features within there. You can see it on my screen. We have a form builder, PCI compliant credit card authorization, to help protect you against chargebacks. We have invoices, commissions, all sorts of tools to help make sure this process is as easy as possible for you and easy as possible for your travelers. And of course, we can't talk about Travefy without talking about those proposals and itineraries. We have so many supplier integrations to make that part so quick and easy. So if you have a traveler who's filled out your intake form on your website, which, hey, your website is a marketing tool, you get to go and look and say, hey, here's your proposal. That was like a 2-day turnaround time, maybe even less. And they get to make a decision really, really quickly so you can get them booked even faster on their way. Continue to create excitement for their trip that's coming up. Get them to download the free app that comes with all of this and just really stay in contact. And of course, the cycle continues. You get referrals out of it. You get repeat business. This is really the life cycle of a client workflow. And so that's a lot of information all at once. But do know, and I brag about them all the time, I love our customer success team. They are real people. They're here either in Nebraska or New Jersey, so you're going to get some Midwestern niceties, if you will. But we absolutely want to make sure you're getting value out of this system. And so we offer free trainings. We'll do them one-on-one with you. If you have a team, if you have a colleague you want to join with you, totally okay. We'll do it with you. We do webinars like this all the time. But let us know how we can help. We have FAQs, free certification programs. Let us know what you need from us, and we will try to deliver. But all right, I know that half of you were saying you love marketing, which is amazing, and half of you said that you either hated it, scared of it, a little bit nervous about it. Let's break it down just a little bit and what that means in Travefy. When it comes to Travefy's tools, we offer a page builder. So this is where you can create a website for yourself, which think of a website. When you go to your favorite website, we'll take, oh gosh, what website's out there? American Eagle. That was the last website that I was on. You have tabs at the top that help you direct to where you want to go. Do you want to see the jeans? Do you want to see special promotions going on? Those are where a website comes in handy because it's one page that's connected to others. When I talk about a landing page, think of a landing page as its own singular page. It has one purpose, and that can be connected to others as well. But it's really just a matter of singular versus multiple. A landing page is singular, a website is just multiple landing pages connected together. So now that we have that vocabulary out of the way, let's talk about what you can actually do within Travefy. You can create an agency website for yourself. You can create destination wedding pages, and we have templates for pretty much all of these things, by the way. So you don't even have to come in with a ton of expertise. No coding knowledge, no design knowledge. We pretty much have you covered over here. You can also do it for things like celebration travel. I know so many of you were putting in those niches that you are either interested in, trying to go after, some ideas on passions that you want to pursue even further. Think about what type of pages you can create following that passion. If you love doing those bachelorettes, create some bachelorette pages. Groups, I know that's another big one. Group pages is huge. This is so nice if you do have more than like 10 people and you can say, hey, here's your itinerary, here's a form I need you to fill out, here's my information, customize it a bit, send it to that group. They now have something that they can take and share with friends and family, and that can turn into referral marketing. Cruises and more, this is really a list to help you kind of understand what you can all do with it. And now I have this up here. We kind of talked about it already. This is what a landing page can look like in Travefy. So you can put your itinerary on here. It's really easy. I'll actually follow and show you guys how to do that. You can also connect your Calendly calendar. That was another important aspect when we were thinking about ways that we can get in contact with potential clients. Your branding's on here. If you have what we call a domain, you can also custom domain mask your entire Travefy account for free. And if you aren't familiar with the term domain, it pretty much means you go out. Let's take GoDaddy, for example. You can go to godaddy.com, find a name that you want for your company, purchase it, and then that way, any link that you send out from Travefy shows your company name versus Travefy's. So if you hear the term domain thrown around, that is a little bit of what we are talking about. But all right, why do advisors love pages? Don't take it from me. Tammy O'Hara here. She actually created a How I Travefy video. It's on our YouTube channel. We have some great How I Travefy videos if you want to see how advisors actually use Travefy. But she really says, you know, Travefy makes my life easier by cutting down the amount of time that it takes for me to build these custom landing pages. She creates templates and she customizes it for each of her clients. And so let's take a look. Enough of the slides, right? Let's actually see what the heck I am talking about. This here is an example of a landing page. Now remember, a landing page, that is a singular page dedicated to something. And for this case, this was actually from my good friend Sandra. Sandra, if you're on here, I always like to use her pages because she creates some really professional looking ones. This is dedicated to a South African escapes journey. And so this is where she includes information like a intake form. She includes some photos to get travelers excited. She includes a lot of information. You can either do this, you don't have to put as much information in either, but this is all possible with Travefy. And so here's that quick example, but let's actually dive into the platform now. This is what you are shown when you first log in. This is your trips page. We will get here soon enough. But when we are talking about marketing, the place that we want to go is our pages. Pages is up here in our navigation bar, and I just clicked right into it. I'm going to click save so you can see this a bit better. This is where I created a homepage for my website. And again, a website, just multiple landing pages connected together through buttons and links. Otherwise, a landing page, just singular standalone. I'm going to go to a template I created for New Agent Bootcamp, actually. And if you want this template, I will share it out at the end here. But this is a really nice way of just making sure you have everything that you need for your homepage. So I'm going to scroll down with you guys and we're going to connect an itinerary. Whenever you are in your Pages tool, if you see something you want to edit, just click on it. When you click on it, a menu to edit it appears on the right-hand side so you can start to put in information. And of course, with this template, we're going to prompt you for what type of information we want to have you put in there. But let's put in a proposal, put in an itinerary. This is a great way for someone who's just trying to discover or figure out what advisor they want to work with. They can see your itinerary and be like, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I absolutely want to work with this advisor, knowing what their work looks like. It looks professional, and I would feel really good giving all of my booking information and having to go through the booking process with this individual. And so, pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead, back up. If we want to edit something, we click right into it. The next thing we're going to do is find our pencil icon. And now from here, I'm going to go to the bottom. There's this handy import from Travefy option. When I click that, I have two options that I can connect. I can connect an itinerary or a library item. We're going to select itinerary for now. And from here, I can see all of my current itineraries. For me, I want to connect this all-inclusive option, Eshkaret. I'm going to click that, and you can see it's now connected. It includes my price. It includes the photo I had chosen beforehand. Only thing left to do is if I want to put in a description, which for today, let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to copy and paste. I'm not going to make you guys watch me type all of this up. But it's easy as that. What I love too is that you can actually see these changes being made live. So you can decide, do I need to add more? Do I need to remove some information? Do I want to format it differently? It's really right there for you to decide then and there. Not only that, if you're ready to publish that, I have heard from some advisors that certain website builders will publish it within 48 hours. We don't do that. All you have to do is hit publish and it gets put out there live on the internet just like that. So it's quick. You don't have to go through any additional hoops. It's really up to you when you want to put this out there on the internet. But all right, what does it look like? We're going to hit preview. That's going to allow us to see what it looks like both on mobile as well as desktop. We can click into any of these buttons, and when someone like a traveler who's interested in an all-inclusive clicks into that itinerary, they can go right to the itinerary I've already created. They see all of the photos. They can interact with any videos I've put in there, any links I've put in there. And if they're interested and they want to start booking, they can contact me, and this sends directly to your email address. But I'm going to click out of there. That's a little bit about those marketing tools. Again, we have a whole session we are dedicating to just this tomorrow at the end of the day. So if you want to see more, join us there. But I'm going to back up because we have a lot of different tools that are going to help you be successful when it comes to running your business. So that's all about marketing. That's how we are getting our brand out there. But now, how are we collecting that client information securely? And that is through something like a form builder that we have. So to introduce you really quickly to those forms, you can create custom client forms, of course. Ask those questions that you need. We also have those credit card authorization form questions that you can use, which are PCI compliant. I had another individual ask me, what does PCI compliant mean? It pretty much means payment information that is going to be secure. So feel free, you can look it up. You can also reach out to us if you want any documentation. That's always important to be able to ask and receive that documentation. We go through yearly audits. We're about to go through a couple of different audits right now. That just helps you know that any information your client is giving you, it's stored securely. And you can also give that information to your client to let them know, hey, I'm professional. This is everything that I do to make sure that your information is secure. Other ways that we can make this form process really easily is file uploads. So think about maybe some documents that you need from that traveler, passports, waivers, anything like that. They can upload it within the form really easily. We also can put e-signatures on any of these forms. That's been a feature for a while. So if you need them to sign off to your terms and conditions, you can do that all within that same form. And of course, I know some of you are really excited about doing groups, really ready to jump into that area of travel. You can also enforce response limits. So if you have, 15 cabins that you need to book, but you don't need any more than 30 responses, for thinking about couples, you can enable that response limit so you don't have to have that awkward conversation with the person who maybe filled it out last minute. There's no more room. Just forego that conversation, put in a response limit. Some other things I just want to point out when I talk about forms are these features called smart fields. Now, don't feel like you need to take away and remember this term for tomorrow, but I always like to point it out because it's such a nice feature when you are getting started, especially too as you're continuing to grow. I know not everyone in this chat is brand new. Maybe you're seeing a ton of growth and you just want to get back to the fundamentals of things. Smart Fields is the feature that's going to connect your form responses to a contact. And so I'm going to say, I'm going to just take a name that I see here on my page, Angela. Angela goes to my website, she fills out an intake form, and maybe I've never talked to Angela before, but because she filled out that intake form and because I have these smart fields turned on, it creates an automatic contact profile for me in my account. I don't have to pull up her response. I don't have to type it in manually. It all is connected, which is really the beauty of having a connected form builder and a CRM. Now, let's go ahead. Let's slide on over into Travefy before we talk about CRM fully. We're back in our Travefy account. Again, this is our trip page. This is where we'll see all of our trips. Where we're going to go now is our library and just some more vocabulary to share with you. Your library, think of this as your own personal database of resources. This is where you can save things that you'll use again and again, whether it's travel insurance information, whether it's those documents that you always like to include for your travelers. Save it to your library so you don't have to reinvent the wheel each time you have someone working with you. And so one of those things happen to be your forms. And let's create a really quick form together. We're in our library. When we want to create a new library item, pretty straightforward, new library item button up at the top left. And from here, I'm selecting the form option, which is right there at the top, which is super handy for us. From here, we have this window pop up. And if we're thinking about ways that we can save time, because I know that so many of you are doing this as a second job or a side hustle, create them from templates. Templates are going to be your very best friend. So that's what we're going to do. We'll select create from template. We have 4 right here. I'm going to select our credit card authorization form. Again, that's PCI compliant. Some things to shout out. Add in some labels. Labels is how you organize within Travefy. It's how you group things together. And so for me, I'm going to type in New Agent Bootcamp 2025 so I can find this easier later on in case anyone would want it. The other thing is this is where you can add in your response limits. You can add them as many times as you want. You can type in the number that you're thinking of, but that's going to be there at the top for you. Other thing is if you ever want to edit a question, you're going to see this pencil icon show up whenever you have the option to edit it further. So we can see, please enter your payment information. I'm going to click the pencil icon and we can see, okay, it's a card authorization question. We are requiring this, but we aren't collecting that code on the back. Do I want to collect the code on the back? For this one, maybe yes. I'll select yes, click the check mark, and it saves that choice. But let's add in a question. When we are ready to add in more content to this form, you have to select Add New. 3 different options right here. Question, text and image only, which is really nice if you want to add in your logo, for instance. If you want to add in your Calendly calendar, you can do that as well. Let's add in a question though, and let's type in what we're asking. We're going to say, please upload your passport. And to the right of that is the type of answer field that we're looking for. So if I want this traveler to upload the passport, what do I need them to do? Probably not give me a short answer or long answer, choose from multiple choices. Instead, we would want them to do a contact document upload. We select that, decide if it's required or not. And from here, that traveler has the option of uploading a photo from their library. So if I happen to be on my phone, I'm filling this out, I take a picture of my passport and I can just grab it just like that. Otherwise, they do have the option to take a picture right then and there. So you don't have to walk anyone like me through how to scan anything. I don't even know really how to use a printer at this point. But, you know, to each their own. This is a safe space, right? But this is just going to make it easy again for you, but also for that traveler, making this process as transparent as possible. Last thing we'll shout out is requiring that electronic signature. We're asking for sensitive information like that credit card, so we'll always make sure that that electronic signature is enabled. Otherwise, if you want to put in your own terms and conditions, put them in here at this box towards the bottom. When you're ready to share it out, Select share, you can email it, or you can share the form link with your clients. This is also that link that you can put onto something like your website, social media, if you want to put it in your link tree, if you use Linktree. These are all really nice avenues on ways that you can meet your clients where they're at. If anyone's interested in seeing what the form actually looks like, you can see what it looks like on mobile. You can also see what it looks like on desktop right here. But all right, that's a little bit about forms. We just talked about marketing. We're talking about forms, how we can customize it to what we need to learn from those clients. But now, client management, this goes pretty close in hand with the forms. And so when we talk about CRM, this is what we are referring to. And it's nice because it's automatically tracking pretty much everything that you send out from Travefy. And so that means any itineraries or proposals that you send from Travefy, you got it. Travefy CRM is going to track that. So you don't have to have a written list down on, okay, I sent Sally Smith 5 itineraries, 1 proposal. Forget about it. Travefy can already have you covered there. It's also going to show you all the forms you've ever sent to contact, as well as viewing statuses, which is always really nice, just making sure that they actually saw the form. We'll also store those important documents like those passports right within their contact profile. And I went through that a little fast. This is what it looks like a bit, but think of it as your central hub of information when it comes to your clients. Know that anything related to your clients you can find within that contact profile. Now, the other thing that I'm going to talk about really briefly, I don't want to steal Morgan's thunder for tomorrow, but you can also create automated workflows. And so when you think of automations, think of ways that Travefy can save you time. When you are working in Travefy, if you have to click send on something, go to Travefy's automations. You can probably create an automation for that. That's going to mean you can set up automations for Travefy to send out chat messages, Travefy to automate any trip itineraries or proposals you want to send out at a given time. Anything like that, you can set an automation up for. Fees and invoices, you can do that too. This is all ways to make sure you're saving time and also making sure that you have a set workflow that whenever you have clients come in, one client doesn't get a better service than the other. It's going to make sure you get things done on time. Now, why do advisors love automations? And I think this is pretty straightforward on why anyone would love automations, but it pretty much is allowing you to have time given back to yourself. So Kim Little here, she also did an amazing How I Travefy video on how she likes to use it in her business. And she breaks it down really simply too, so you can get some good inspiration from her if you're struggling with, what does my workflow actually look like and finding how to set that up in Travefy. But also just join us for tomorrow because we're going to give you a whole big template. But all right, let's see a little bit of what that CRM looks like. We're going to slide back on over here. I know I'm jumping around in this session a lot. We were in pages, we were in library, we were talking about the form. I'm actually going to access this booking form 2025 because let's pretend, I put this booking form out on my website. Someone filled it out. You'll be emailed a notification, of course, it takes you right back here. But you'll go into your responses, and this is showing we have a response. How handy. We can click into this drop-down arrow, and you're going to get a high-level overview of the responses that they gave. So looks like a Sarah Jane filled this out. What do we do from here? Well, decide for yourself. Do you know Sarah Jane or do you not? For me, I don't know who Sarah Jane is. Looks like it's going to be a lead. So I'm going to select Assign to Contact. And now we have 2 choices. If you do recognize who Sarah Jane is, you can assign them to that existing contact profile that updates it with any new information that they listed down. Otherwise, I don't know Sarah Jane. I'm assigning her to a brand new contact profile. I'm creating and assigning it. And now let's click into her contact together. This is what it shows. I don't have to put her email in here. I don't have to set up a contact manually where I do have the responses on one tab, contact in another. It all is created for me so I don't make any human error. However, that's not to say that you can fill it out further with more information. If you get on the phone with Sarah Jane and you want to put down that she's a teacher full-time, you can do that. This is all private to you, so your clients aren't ever going to see this. Again, think of this as your client hub. This is where you will go for anything related to your client. If you want to throw down any loyalty programs, travel preferences, birthdays, anniversaries, important dates, you can put it all in here. And of course, that works really nicely if you want to set up any automations, a little nice email message on their birthday. Of course, you might not remember, but Travefy remembers for you. So it just adds that personal touch. Notes, trip history, form history, all of that will show in here. Those important documents, that's where I uploaded a passport. But just some things to point out. We have a really cool email integration now. So if you have time, it takes maybe 1, 2 minutes. Go ahead, get into Travefy, set up your email. Any replies that you have, any responses that you have from this individual, you'll be able to see all of your communication in here. I could talk all about email integration. This was probably the feature I was most excited for when we were doing CRM releases. But these are all tools, again, to help you consolidate and know where you need to go when you're working with a client. So, email integration can be found right within here. Now, if you are working with another software right now and you have a list of your contacts, you can always import your contacts through a spreadsheet. We can help you with that. You can always reach out to us through the chat right here. But this is a really handy way to save time, especially if you have a list already. Now I'm going to click out of there. This is our contacts hub. You can sort them through labels. I think I saw Gilbert might be in this chat. He had a great How I Travefy video that he did recently on ways that you can stay organized in your CRM. So absolutely recommend checking that out. But all right, like I said, I know this is a lot, but rely on our amazing support team. Marketing, CRM, forms. Let's get into sales. This is where Travefy got started. And I'm going to give you a little bit of a, reach back, relax, because we're going to go through a few slides before we jump into Travefy again. But supplier integrations is really what makes this so amazing. We have so many great partnerships. If you joined us for the last session, we have a great partnership with ALGV. Ben, that was where he was from. You can import your bookings directly from them into Travefy. And the reason why so many suppliers love integrating with us is one, because you are the reason, of course, at the end of the day, suppliers want to make sure that you are able to grow and be successful. That's why we want to make tools to help you be successful as well. But it's nice because if you're working with a lot of suppliers, and you send your client that supplier itinerary, they have a good idea of what that supplier's itinerary looks like. However, you always want to establish your brand at the end of the day. What does your itinerary, what does your proposal look like? And Travefy is going to allow you to brand it to yourself. And so that's really nice if you're working with great companies like ALGV and maybe Viator and maybe, someone else out there, United, for their flights. You can piece it all together within Travefy really quickly through those integrations. We also have great city guides. Now, I'm not sure if anyone's an expert on every destination. If we do have someone in the chat, that is amazing. But a lot of times you might have that one traveler that says, hey, I would love to travel to this place. And you've never been there. You don't really even know anything about that destination. We have some great city guides that are available at your fingertips that have been created by tourism boards that you can use to your liking. And of course, they're constantly updated. Flight alerts, of course, that is a necessity these days. I'm sure we all have horror stories about the airport. We also have great photo, video import to make sure they look really nice when you send your proposals to your clients. CRM back office integrations, we have a few of those. Global hotel database to make sure, again, when you're building these, it's not going to take that much time. We also have this really cool feature called Marketplace. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by this presentation, that's okay. I know it's a lot. Go to Marketplace because we have put all of the templates for New Agent Bootcamp in here that have been created on Travefy's end at least. So you can find great sample itineraries, hotel resort information, cruise content. I'm just going to list them all right here. If you were someone who didn't love the idea of creating a landing page, go here. We had I want to say we have 3 really great templates from Desiree, who is a website designer full time. She created some in there for free. None of the you find in there is something you have to pay for. It's all free. It's all been created by other people who use Travefy. And so that just gives me the warm and fuzzies because this is such a great community, again, that you have found yourself in. So take advantage of Marketplace, that free Etsy, if you will. Now, I can't talk about Travefy without also talking about the biggest buzzword that 2025 has, which is AI. We have an AI tool called Smart Import. Now, this is where it's not going to create new content for you. It's taking what you upload and creating it. Well, I guess it's creating something. It's creating an itinerary in Travefy for you. So if you are ever working with a supplier who doesn't happen to be directly integrated with Travefy, maybe you're going ultra luxury, maybe you're working with a really niche DMC. This is where if they send you a PDF or a brochure, you can upload it into Travefy using Smart Import. Our AI reads through the information and builds out the Travefy itinerary for you. It also creates images. So if you want to upload something and that supplier creates some beautiful images in there, you can make sure those images are included. We'll go through that in tomorrow's session when it comes to the client experience. I also love talking about upgraded cruise content. This has been out since January, but I can't help but talk about it. How many people do cruises? It's been a while since I've actually asked the chat, so sorry, I haven't been including you guys in these questions. Anyone do cruises in here? I think cruises is a really good entry point for travel. Okay, Amanda, Ellen, Wendy, yep. Cruises, guys. I love them. I've recently discovered how great river cruises are as well. Anyone does river cruises? We have them in here too. So if you are getting into cruising at all, check this out. And I will show you here really soon what that looks like. It's such a great way to save time. It brings over onboard information, entertainment. If you're doing families, if anyone does Disney, Disney cruises are in here. Take a look. Ooh, Deborah, you say I have a group of 25 going to Alaska next month. Congrats. I love Alaska, especially in the summertime when it's hot and humid here. That's a whole nother story. We're going to get off track, but check out the cruise integration, which I'm going to show you here soon. Also, decisions. This is one that we've had out for a long time as well. I want to say since maybe November or December of last year. Stephanie can correct me if I'm wrong. But this is such a cool feature because it allows you to propose multiple options. Whether you're proposing multiple proposal options, so I'm taking another name here. I'm going to offer John 3 different proposals. One's an all-inclusive option, one's an FIT, and one is a European FIT. Something like that. Your clients can see it side by side and they can actually select which one they want to go with. Now, I know I have some friends in here that said they were interested in doing groups. Here's another fun way I've seen this being used. You can send this to multiple people. So let's say I have a group of 25 like Deborah, and they can't decide what they want to do. I can create a decision, send it to 25 people. They can all make their own individual selections, and you can kind of use that as a voting tool. So you can see, okay, I have like 10 people out of the 25 wanting to go on that Alaskan cruise. I pretty much know where we're going to go at this point, so I can get started on things. But it's a fun way to get everyone involved. Now, if you have any forms that they still need to fill out, you can also include that in there just so you don't have to send as many back and forth emails and it walks your client through the process. Because one, of course, we want to make sure this is easy for you. But on the other flip side of this, we also want to make sure it's really easy for your traveler. So if you're saying, hey, you filled out my intake form, we chatted, we had that call, I put together 3 different options for you, just sent it to your email, take a look. Once you're done, it'll walk you through the next steps. They say, hey, great. I'm selecting this option. Looks like I have to fill out this last booking form now that I've chosen it. Fill it out, on their way, ready to go. So think of that when you're also working through your task list workflow. Now I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna slide on over. We're gonna go into trips now. So we went in pages, we talked about the library, contacts, marketplace lives right here, which if we have time, I'll show that at the end. But I'm going to go into Sarah's vacation options 2026. I got a little head start on this. Sarah had already filled out the form, looked through it, great, put together 2 options for her. We're going to add in a 3rd option together. This is our trip dashboard. This is where you can add in multiple proposals, itineraries, forms, website pages, landing pages, you name it. And so when we're ready to add a resource in, we select Add New right there at the bottom. And from here, I am selecting the proposal option. We select proposal. I'm going to create a brand new proposal with you guys, just starting blank, but you can always use a template of yours if that's in there. And now we're going to click the edit option together. All right, this is where the magic happens. This is where we are adding the content. This is where we can find a lot, if not all of our supplier integrations. And the first thing I'll do is I'm going to select this new event option. We're on day 1. We haven't even added a date in. And we are going to see our drop-down list of different categories of events that we can build into here. Pretty straightforward. I'm going to select our cruise option. And this is what I absolutely love to show. This is a great tool for those of you who maybe have that client who's never cruised before in their life. Maybe you're a bit newer to cruising, but they want to go on it. This is a tool that you can use to find the right one. If you have a specific one in mind, just use the search bar, find it. Otherwise, let's have some fun with this. I'm going to go all the way to, you know what, we're going to go to 2026, and I'm going to go into March. And so March 2026, I'm going to select my date range, which is going to be the whole month of March. That's what my client told me. Great. I know March is a great time to get out of the winter time. Next thing we'll do is putting in a cruise line. I'm going to say Royal Caribbean for this one. We'll select Royal Caribbean as our cruise line. We have about 157 results to go through. But what helps nail this down even further is putting in where are they departing from. And for me, I'll say let's do Fort Lauderdale. It's close to their house, close to their home base, pretty easy to get in and out of. All right, 24 results. And now this is where you can go through, you can see how long each one is, you can see those dates, the duration as well, and you can make a decision from here on which one you want to import. Again, if you're doing river cruises, you can find river cruise options in here too. Just put in the right cruise line. But all right, let's stick with Liberty of the Seas. 4 days. And now, as you can see on the left-hand side, we have different sections of information we can choose to have come over. Do we want all of those cabin options to come over for us? If you want to see what that means, you can always click into the drop-down arrow and you can see those descriptions. Photos come over for each cabin for the most part too, which is super nice. You don't have to take time copying, pasting photos these days. Deck plans, if they know what deck they want to stay on. If there are any kids and teens going along, we've got stuff for them too. If there don't happen to be any kids and teens coming along, you can always deselect whole sections. So if there aren't any, deselect it, none of this comes over. If you only want individual pieces to come over, let's go to accommodations, deselect it. I can just pick and choose maybe the top 3 right here to have come over. It's up to you, but this is really going to make sure that we're providing a lot of information in a really short amount of time. Now, let's say it all looks good. We're going to import this over. We'll let that load in. And all right, it basically created the proposal itinerary for us. So we can see the departure times. We can see a bit of information about each stop. We can also go to that ship information up at the top here. We can see some photos. That client's going to be able to click into here, see some even more photos. But this is just what we're seeing as the advisor. We are focused on putting together the content pretty quickly, still keeping in mind the quality of the content isn't going down at all just because we're saving time. But if you want to see what your client will see, preview options always available. And this is where if you scroll down, you can see, okay, here's what that ship picture looks like. If you include a video walkthrough, bonus points to you guys. Pretty easy, just go to YouTube, find a video, copy the URL, paste it in. Video plays right in here. They can also click into any of those accommodations where, okay, looks like the description really fits what I'm going for. Click into those photos, scroll through it, but this is all meant to save you time, but at the same time, impress your clients. So on the left-hand side, you can also expand those days open, expand those sections open, but it's again meant to make this a really quick process. Now, because I always like to talk a lot, we're gonna speed through the rest of this. So we have at least 5 minutes to really speak about everything else. But the other things that I will just mention right here, right now, that we'll talk more about in the sessions tomorrow is that there is a mobile app for you. Your clients, once they choose what they want to go with during that proposal stage, they sign off with their electronic signature. They're going to be able to download the mobile app called Trip Plans, view everything in there. They get push notifications. You can set up automation so chats go to them. We learned a lot today, so there's a lot of different ways that you can go about setting those up. But these are all tools to help make sure that you just aren't paying for a million things and you know where to go when you're ready to start your day. Now, I want to talk quickly, very quickly, like let's cap it at 2 minutes, about some of those recent releases that we mentioned, which is all about CRM. Even more to come on the way, which I'm super excited about. I can't say, but there's some really exciting things coming. One, we released invoices. This is where if you need to create supplier invoices that your clients need to authorize payment for, you can do it all within here. you can actually auto-populate invoices directly from your itineraries and proposals. So if you're including prices as you're building your trips out, you select auto-populate for that invoice, everything totals up, it filters on in, and you are in control of everything. But of course, it's just going to help you save a lot of time there. It also, the invoice page is really nice looking. It's not something that's super overwhelming and seeing like, oh my gosh, there's so many things that I'm looking at as a traveler. It's like, I want to just click out of there. We have done so many interviews when we create these features, quite honestly, that we're making sure it looks professional. It's really clear to that traveler what is next, what is the next step. And of course, all of this is branded to you. So invoices, you'll be able to find that in your trips. I realize I have the slides out of order. Here's what the mobile app looks like. I'm going to continue on just to save some time. Tracy, I'm sorry. I love your story. We'll skip past hers for now as well. But again, Invoices was a recent release. Contacts, that was another recent release that we did. You guys saw that there. Commissions, that was probably the most recently released item. I want to say in the last 2 weeks or so, where same thing. A lot of this can auto-populate from that invoice. So as you're putting together your invoice and you put together an all-inclusive package, you can say, okay, here's my commission, here's my expected date to receive that commission. Click save, click done. Here's maybe that commission split that I do with my agency. All of that information gets filtered to your commissions dashboard so you can understand really what is next, what are your financials looking like, is there anything left on the table that you need to track down. We've talked to so many host agencies that have multiple of them, by the way, that have said there's millions of dollars on the table from unclaimed commissions. It's crazy, but it really does add up. So just being able to understand, okay, it looks like I've done pretty good, 64K, but there's 12K that's overdue that I need to track down because I do want to go on vacation here. So again, let's not do our own spreadsheets. Let's try and keep everything in one place just so we don't have mistakes like that happen. Other thing, we already talked about this too. Email integration, set it up. You can also go into your account settings so you can make sure anything that sends from Travefy comes directly from your email. Helps so much with deliverability. We have IMAP coming soon, but Outlook and Gmail is already available. So if you have your email through them, you can set this up today. IMAP users, keep a lookout for some emails from us. We're so close to getting that finalized. So just keep an eye out for anything from our team. But all right, I know I went through the last part really quickly because I just keep talking and talking, but let's take a look back. When we think about Travefy, we want to make sure you know that we have features for every part of your workflow, from marketing to the client intake with those forms, CRM, proposals, itineraries, and making sure that process continues with those referrals with repeat business. We're going to continue making features and enhancements that are going to help you with every part of your day. So it doesn't feel overwhelming. So it feels like you can actually end your day at 5 p.m. And then you can hop on a webinar with both Stephanie and I at the next 5 p.m. hour. But this, again, is a good snapshot of what Travefy entails. And of course, it's all under one subscription. And if you have any questions, I always like to throw our sales team up here. This is all of our sales team. You'll be matched with one of them. They are truly your guides. They will ask you questions on, what do you like to do? What are some ways that Travefy can help really mesh with what you're doing right now? How it can help you save time? What are your goals? Especially if you are a newer advisor, they have so many great resources. They've created templates of their own that they're happy to share with you. You just have to email them, quite honestly. Standard price, $39 a month. Everything I showed you today includes everything there for that standard price. If you happen to be with a host agency, with a consortia, let us know. We have so many preferred partnerships. It's crazy. There's probably a discount out there. But if you are a new travel agent, again, just remember, I would highly recommend taking a look at the new travel agent program because it is so heavily discounted. And you get that custom domain, and you get that custom email, and you get onboarding, a few additional items that just really help kickstart your business. And so check it out. I know, Stephanie, you're probably flinging links like crazy back there.
So many
So
links. There's so
I
many
know there's
links.
going to be a lot. If you have questions, reach out to our team at professional@travefy.com. We can get you all of the information. We can answer any questions that you have. So just let us know. I threw this in here too, if in case Okay, we got 10 minutes. Breezing through things. I know this is like speed dating almost, but Trip Kit Scholarship, new travel agent program. Now we have scholarships that we're talking about. We talked about this at the first session. We are giving away 13 scholarships. Another link for Stephanie to just throw in the chat.
Yeah, let me get
But
that.
this is a really great program that if you feel like you need that additional, education around this industry, how do you work with suppliers? How do you work with partners? How do you get your sales? How do you book things? Travel Institute is a great resource. We created actually a certification with them. So if you're going through the program, check out Travefy certifications. If you complete one of the certifications, you get 3 CEU points. So just additional ways to further that education portion. Education is so important with travel. Everything is changing all the time, every day. So stay on top of it with this. But really great. It's going to get you 50% off their enrollment price. But all right, whew, that
Oh
was
man, it's so close. And I'm trying to get a link to somebody real quick. Okay, I'm gonna get it. Angela, I have a link coming wow, I'm losing my voice now. Angela, I have a link coming to you right now. But really quick question, Bonnie, while I do that.
it. Okay.
Does Travefy own trip plans or is that an additional expense?
Oh, good question. So, and I'll give you a little context to that. Trip Plans is the name of the mobile app that your clients can download to view their itineraries that you create in Travefy. And I didn't do this before, so let me just slide on over. I'm a visual person. I like to actually see what the heck someone is talking about. This is what the app looks like for your client. Trip Plans. It is not branded to Travefy because really this is for your client and we are not interested in marketing to your client, quite honestly. We'll leave that fun stuff up to you. But this is owned by Travefy. You can come here, you'll see what the itinerary looks like, some different benefits to why they should download it. Biggest one is that offline mode. So if they lose access to Wi Fi or cell service, they can still access
So nice.
everything. I don't know, has anyone ever worked with an anxious traveler? I always love
Yeah, what's it?
seeing if you have because I will be vulnerable. I said this is a safe space. I am an anxious traveler. Hopefully, we don't bother you guys too much, but I'm someone who just has to know if there are any flight changes. I have to be the person who also looks up the menu to a restaurant before I go. So, uh,
I put
safe
all my
space.
PDFs. I put like every document possible in my itinerary too. So you never know what you might need.
Yeah. And so for those anxious travelers, I'm telling you, tell them that available offline toggle is right there. Turn it on before they go. They can access everything, those emergency phone numbers, those documents, everything. They will be taken care of. They will be able to enjoy their vacation. It's all going to be fine.
It'll all be good. Yes.
Yes.
One thing too to call out because I saw because man, I really am losing my voice today. Because Cassandra asked, where do we find trip plans in Travefy? So it'll be in the App Store. So it'll be like Google Play Store or the App Store. However, keep in mind, as Bonnie mentioned, the Travefy Pro app is the one that you want. So Trip plans is technically for your client and you could download it too. I see users have it too, but it's not going to be the helpful one for you because you'll want Travefy Pro because that will give you more options and more things because that's for you as the advisor to have that app.
Yeah, an important thing to distinguish, I know we just kind of ran through information. Your clients will need to have either approved their proposal to get the app option. So this becomes an itinerary automatically once they approve everything. They get the app option and they can walk through it themselves right here when they view their itinerary. You don't need to resend it to them or anything. It just converts to that itinerary automatically. Or if you know that client, you are pretty sure they aren't going to ghost you, just start off with the itinerary, gives them the app option right away. But really, we have that because we've heard a lot of people have some travelers ghost them. We don't want them to have additional ways to save your content without actually booking with you. And so when you are working in that proposal, just know that they have very limited ways of saving your content. Proposal versus itinerary, just to take a step
Yeah.
back.
Yes, that yeah. So that's really good. It's funny, like things like the mobile app we kind of forget about. And we're like, oh wait, no, like there's it's very important, very good, huge, one of a amazing thing that your clients will come back. We hear this all the time, by the way, is users will come back because they're like, I just really like you have an app and call it your own. You don't have to say it's ours. Just say I have built an app for you, and just give it to him.
Oh
Just
my
let him
gosh.
use it.
I'll have to have Morgan tell her story, but she's actually gotten travelers, like new travelers, to work with her because she had travelers use and show off the app while they've been traveling through Europe. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, look at my travel
Look at
advisor app.
this. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have an app. Can I get your travel
Yeah.
advisor's contact information?
Exactly. Like,
That's
wait,
a common story we hear. So,
that's big. That is big. That is awesome.
yeah.
Also, okay, one side, and then I know we're running out of time here, but I was actually traveling one time and asked somebody because I was like, your travel agent sent you an app. What is it called? And she pulled it up and it was Trip Plans. I was like, yeah,
Oh
that's
my gosh, that's
amazing.
awesome.
Yes.
See, I think we should have a session where we just do story time with you guys because I know
I
you guys
know.
have amazing traveler stories
There's
that
so
I could
many good
just
ones.
listen to all day,
There's
every day. Like this is the juicy gossip that I
It's the
need.
goss. I love it.
Uh,
Says
but let's continue with questions
okay, yeah, I'm
before.
trying to see which ones we can go really quick on. Oh, okay, this is a good one. So someone said I have a domain parked. I love how it's parked on GoDaddy. Can it be, or even if it's not GoDaddy, if you have a domain already, can you use it in Travefy?
Yes,
Nice.
absolutely. If you are not using your, well, honestly, if you're using your domain and if you aren't using your domain mask your account. It is such an easy branding option. Plus, it's free. And so I did that really quickly. So I'm going to preview this. I have the option to do it under my custom domain. My domain happens to be Bonnie Voyage Travels. So anything that has Travefy in the link, if you domain mask, you can have your company name show up. So either reach out to us. I think reaching out to us is the easiest way to get that set up if you are not familiar with domain masking. It can seem like another language, quite honestly. That's probably the most complicated thing in Travefy is just figuring out domain masking. We've done it a million times, so we think it's pretty simple. But reach out to our team, live chat us. Otherwise, you can access our FAQ with the step-by-step instructions. If you currently have a website and you're currently using a domain, still go ahead, do what I just said. We can do what we call subdomain masking. So you can still brand all of your links, even if you do have a website outside of Travefy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And also to just one person said, how do I reach out to get help? So just know too that, yeah, reach out to us in that live chat or send us an email and we can help you get that set up too. But Bonnie, I'm going to try to fit in two more here. I'm going to make
Okay.
this quick. Okay. One, how many different landing pages can you create?
I love this question when it comes up because I get to say the limit is unlimitless.
It
You can
doesn't
create,
exist.
it doesn't exist. So you can create as many pages as you want. You can see I've created like so many. Oh my gosh, this reminds me that I need to share out that website template link. We're going to go into
Oh,
Marketplace
yes.
really quick. This is where I've put in most of the New Agent Bootcamp items that we'll be sharing out tomorrow as well. So if you can't join us, take a look in here. Uh, but I'm going to share out this one link. This is just the homepage template. You do need to be signed into your Travefy account. If you don't have an account already, just sign up for your free trial and that link will work for you to save it. Just copy it right to your library. We'll go through all of this tomorrow too, but lots of great things in there. But yeah, create as many pages as you want. You're going to find a lot of great templates and customize it to your liking. Put your colors in, put your logo in there. Really have some fun with it.
Yeah. Also didn't know that we supported gifts like that. That's pretty cool.
I know, isn't
Like,
that fun?
that was really cool. I was like, well, hold on now. What is that? That's so
Important.
cool.
I
That's
know our
awesome.
engineers were having some fun with it.
I love that. That is really cool. Okay, one last question here. Okay, so I know that we are going to get into this in the next session tomorrow. We are hyping this session up because it's gonna be so good. But Gilbert, a good shout out again.
I knew he was in here.
Yeah, and then a couple other people kind of asked similar questions. When it comes to adding prices, there's a few different ways to do that, but one of the big ways that the reason why this question was asked was like when you're putting it with invoices, like when you're auto populating it, can you just quickly show where you go to add a price for an individual event or like a hotel or a resort or a tour?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go back to that cruise option really quick. I'm going to click edit right here and I'm going to probably confuse some of you, but I'm going to move quick so it makes a little bit more sense. I'm going to add in a travel insurance option for my library. And what I'm going to do is actually, let's put it on March 9th. And whenever you do want to add a price, find your pencil icon, in these details here is where you can find it. So if I want to put in that this costs, we'll say $2,500, we can put USD or really whatever currency that you are working with. I'm going to do the same thing for this guy up here. We're going to just add in prices really quick. We'll say it's 150 USD, but add in your prices as you go ahead and put together your proposal. Because what's so nice is if I go out to trips and I know that they wanted to go with this cruise option with, I think that's a waterfall, so we would have to change the cover photo out. We'll select add new, select that invoice option. It has the sparkles next to it, so you know you're choosing the right one. From here, select which one you want to work with. So we'll choose the one that we put together, of course. I'm selecting auto populate. And now it brings in all of my items that have that price tag. It labels it on the sides and it totals everything up. If you don't want to have the line by line items showing, you don't have to. You can choose to just display the total. But now you've created an invoice page that your clients really understand, like, oh, this is how much my insurance was. I only have one quantity. I chose not to show the totals for everything, so they only see the quantities. But they can say, okay, what's my next payment? When's the next payment due? It'll show on here all of their payment dates if you include installments. So just a little tip, put in prices as you're putting together your proposals and itineraries. I think Mari Bay actually created a How I Travify video on our YouTube channel as well, where she walks through her proposal process using invoices. So if you don't want to hear from me in that quick 5-second showing, check that YouTube channel out.
I am going to share that. And Bonnie, I'll let you wrap up. I did put, I am so sorry, everybody, that I know there's questions in here that we didn't get to here. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask too many things at once. I got
No
How I
worries.
Travify videos in there. But I'm so sorry that we didn't get to all those. I shouldn't have just had me back there, Bonnie. It was crazy, and I was trying to get as many as possible. But please hit up our support team, live chat in your account. That is going to be really helpful because then we can see what you're talking about sometimes. Like if you have a specific question about a trip or a contact or a form, then that way we can kind of see and know where your account is coming from. So awesome. Oh, Kayla just said, very helpful webinar. Best one yet. Good job, Bonnie. Killed it.
You guys.
Love it. So
See,
good.
these evening sessions are so fun. I know it's a lot of information to take in, especially on top of all the sessions you guys were a part of today. So reach out to our team if you do have those questions. Join us tomorrow, 10 a.m. sharp. Start Smart with Morgan on that CRM workflow. I've been telling everyone who's been asking me, which is probably like 5 people, if there was a webinar session to join for Travefy, I would really recommend this one just because I've seen the list of handout items she's giving out tomorrow. I've also seen really all the content that she's going to cover. She's an advisor herself, like I mentioned, so she's going to walk you through everything. She's going to include some email templates. So just a little sneak peek of what is to come, but 10 a.m. I know we are over time at this point.
Yeah.
5 o'clock somewhere, no longer. It's now 6 p.m. for us here Central Time. So I will stop sharing my screen. Thank you everyone for joining. If we missed your questions, so sorry. Please email us, please live chat us, or, just reach out to whoever's email that you've got. We are happy to answer.
We'll get you to the right person no matter what. And just a reminder too that these all are being recorded, and we are going to, Bonnie and I have a goal, a task tomorrow morning, first thing when we get back in the office, get everything on YouTube, and then we'll link it into the registration page. So we will get those for you, and we'll keep recording them tomorrow too.
Yes. Well, all right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your evening, and we will see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Bye.